Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of iTrek. Big shout out to all the iTrek fan, man. Tapping in today, watching another one with me. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos from all around the internet and kind of evaluate for ourselves. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. If you're not already subscribed, smash that subscribe button and join the iTrek fam. And let's just jump straight into it.
Jeffrey Epstein's leaked Spotify playlists from his personal account give a disturbing insight into his mind. So years ago, Business Insider published an article identifying Jeffrey Epstein's personal Spotify account, which you can see here was JEE Vacation on Spotify. And they found a lot of different playlists that he had created on there, and in the article they explore these in depth. For example, here is a playlist that Epstein had created on his account. As you can see, it's titled Paris Flight. This was probably for a flight that he took to Paris. And there are just some disturbing song choices throughout all of this. For example, Hot for Teacher, especially when you know that Jeffrey Epstein was a teacher at the Dalton School in the 70s. Good Vibrations. There are crime scene photos showing boxes of vibrators discovered in Jeffrey Epstein's West Palm Beach mansion. He had the song Before You Accuse Me by singer Eric Clapton on a playlist. An entire comedy album by Louis C.K. titled Hilarious, but most disturbingly on the playlist was a song titled Little Girls by the band Oingo Boingo, which obviously is a song that is just a song, but when taken in the context of Jeffrey Epstein, takes on an entirely new, more twisted meaning. He also in some of these playlists had a lot of EDM like Tiesto and LMFAO, and just a lot of electro music. So when was he playing this music? What were these playlists used for? I guess those were some of the secrets that he took with him to his grave. If you want to hear me talk more about topics like this in depth, check out my channel, The Conspiracy Files, or you can listen to the show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Well, they do say if you want to get to know somebody, check out what they got in their music playlist. At least that'll give you a little insight.
Oh, look at that! Whoa! Was that a compressor stall? What's going on?
Oh my.
We're calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibber Link mode for more efficient communication?
AI is getting smarter, but what happens when it gets too smart? So that was two AI agents that were having a normal conversation until they realized that they were both AI. Then they switched to a completely different language, one no human understands. It's called gibberlink. This is happening. Is it harmless? Or the beginning of something else?
Hey, if that isn't a red flag, I don't know what is. I mean, we're talking about being excluded from conversations we definitely want to be in on.
Here's some breaking technological news out of China. They just built a robot that doesn't need humans anymore. It literally changes its own battery. What could go wrong with that? Hello, my fellow overtaxed citizens. Here's today's daily update. And today's news involves a robot that officially doesn't need you anymore. I sure hope you can sleep well after watching this. Oh, and the link to this Zero Hedge article, it's in my bio. We all knew robots were coming. We just didn't expect them to start charging themselves while we are still arguing over gas and groceries. According to the South China Morning Post, UB Tech Robotics just unveiled the Walker S2, the world's first humanoid robot that can autonomously swap its own battery. Check out this crazy shit. That means it can run 24/7 with zero human help. Just the robot and his buddies doing whatever they want. And this isn't some backroom prototype either. This thing is walking, lifting things, and now self-recharging. China is moving fast. Drones, smartphones, EVs, semiconductors, AI, they're locking down every tech industry that really matters. And now humanoid robotics is officially on that list. Moody's even called China a robotics powerhouse, which is comforting. Just kidding. Considering during a recent Anthropic AI study that warned some bots would rather harm humans than get shut down. And back in May, Paul Tudor Jones said that AI might bring an apocalyptic financial collapse. So yeah, maybe we shouldn't cheer just yet for self-sufficient metal skeletons with no souls or moral compass. Let's connect the dots. China now has humanoid robots that walk, lift, think, and no longer need people to keep running. They're inching closer to full autonomy. What's next? No off switch? Now tell me, are you excited about humanoid robots, or are we engineering our own extinction? Drop a comment and let me know where you'd draw the line. And stay tuned for more Doge, scary tech, and Trump administration updates.
Hey, when I see that, that just lets me know the takeover is not far away. If we have AI robots changing their own battery, that means they have more time to learn, grow, be smarter. And all these things that humans are willing to do, they're definitely willing to do it. Let me know what you think about it though.
So now they don't even need to see you record you. As long as they're hearing you typing something, maybe they hear you type on a docs document you think is not public, but Google's listening. I don't believe in X agenda. I don't believe in Y agenda or whatever agenda. Now that could be reported to the police, because we talked about it last year too, how Google was scanning through everybody's Google Drive. Like the big thing was that Kanye Champs interview. And when they found anybody who had the Kanye Champs interview in their Google Drive, they just deleted it. And it says, we deleted it because it violates policy. And then those two fathers had pictures of their children naked because they needed to send them to their doctors. And this was all verified by the hospital, but Google cited that as inappropriate material. And the police came to those people's houses to arrest the fathers. And so now if they can hear you typing, they don't even need photos, they don't need videos, they can hear this person, because 95% accuracy, if you could prove that in a court of law, I mean, that's just as good as a picture. This person was typing this stuff. You say, I don't have it. They're going to trust AI. AI says, I don't care if you deleted it or not. We have the audio file and we can tell what you're typing. And it's all fugazi because there's no document. So you type this and then you delete the document. Where's the proof? We got the audio file. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do you know? AI says so. And they can start making this junk up what's on this audio file.
I repeat, do not touch or mess with this doll at all. This is the Annabelle doll, and it's one of the most haunted pieces of items on Earth. Now, if you guys haven't heard about this doll at all, let me give you some background because it's making headlines again. And yes, this is the same doll that the movie is based off of, Annabelle, in the Conjuring universe. Now, this doll is locked in a cage for good reason, because every time she comes out, bad shit happens. But for some reason, they decided to take her out and take her on tour. Now, this national tour is put on by the New England Society of Psychic Researchers, and it's even noted that this doll is never to be touched, moved, unless with gloves blessed by a priest. Why would you do this knowing that this doll has a string of bad juju behind it? Now, this tour is called Devils on the Run. That's red flag number one. Now, since this doll has been on tour, there's been some very eerie things happening in the major cities it's been visiting, starting with this where a plantation burns down in Louisiana. At the same time, in the same city, 11 inmates escaped from prison. Now, attendees of the tour said they felt strange, even possessed. They even witnessed a dog's eyes turn red. Now, you could call this a coincidence, but this is the lead investigator, a part of the tour, Dan Riviera, and now he's dead. What? Reports say that he passed away unexpectedly during his visit to Gettysburg, which I find pretty interesting because a plantation burns down first, which is not that bad. Then he dies in Gettysburg, which is a pivotal battleground for Civil War, which is all linked through civil matters. Interesting. And get this, he actually dies on July 13th. And it's the same day, a year ago, to the date of President Trump's assassination attempt. What is going on? All in all, I wouldn't go near that doll. But what do you guys think about all this? Let me know below.
I mean, he gave too many scenarios. Some might call it coincidences, but he gave too many of them for me to even want to come close to that doll. I mean, let me know what you would do.
She was made during the NBA Finals this year, and you probably didn't even realize. While everyone was glued to the intense on-court action, something groundbreaking took place during the commercial break. Kalshi, an innovative betting platform, unveiled the world's first entirely AI-generated advertisement. No film crews, no fancy equipment, no glitzy production, just a visionary named PJ Ace, armed with just a computer and a knack for crafting compelling prompts. Somehow, the solo creator conjured up a mesmerizing 30-second spot that's generating buzz rivaling the biggest advertising events of the year. Major publications like The Verge, Variety, and The Guardian are all reporting on this milestone moment. Take a second to process that. One person harnessing the power of AI tools produced a national TV commercial that aired during one of the most watched sports spectacles on the planet. Picture a world where AI takes the reins, writing, designing, and generating complete creative campaigns at massive scale. No human production teams necessary. It challenges the very foundation of marketing and content creation as we know it. The era of AI-driven advertising isn't just on the horizon. Kalshi just confirmed it's our new reality. So, what's your take? Are you witnessing the dawn of an exciting new chapter, or should we approach with caution? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Now that's pretty wild. If you have no clue how Hollywood works, it usually takes about 50, 60, sometimes even 100 people to film a commercial, a TV show, or a movie, right? He just said one man created that commercial, which would generally take about 50 to 100 people to make, because there's people that are hired for lighting, people that are hired for costumes. That could crush a whole industry, man. That's interesting. Let me know what you think about it, though.
Here's the latest on Coldplay Gate. Andy Byron, the CEO of tech company Astronomer, has stepped down after being caught on the kiss cam at a Coldplay concert with the HR chief of his company. Astronomer has also said the woman in the background is not their employee, despite online speculation that she was. Both parties are married to other people, with Byron's wife Megan swiftly removing her married name from her Facebook page following the incident. The couple is said to have 2 kids together. Kristen Cabot, the HR boss who was caught on cam with Byron, is currently married to another CEO, Andrew Cabot of Privateer Rum. This is Kristen Cabot's second marriage, with her first marriage to a man named Ken Thornby ending in divorce. This is a developing story, and more details keep coming to light, so follow Daily Mail for updates.
Ain't no way something like that was an accident. I mean, whoever put the camera on him and her, they knew what they were doing.
A pendulum is far more dangerous than a Ouija board. People say that Ouija boards are scary because they invite things in, but pendulum boards might be worse. They don't use ghosts. They use you. Even though there are obviously strings on this video in particular, when people use a pendulum on the board, it feels like it's moving on its own, and it's actually your own energy that's making it swing, whether you realize it or not. And because you decide what yes or no really means, the pendulum can secretly tell you what you want to hear. Some people say that the pendulum gave them weird answers or made them feel really scared after playing. Some people even claim to become dependent on it to make their every single decision. When I had the chance to interview the cast and crew from the movie, they even talked about how there were dark presences on set during filming. They all could agree that having this pendulum on the set was terrifying. Witchboard will be in theaters on August 15th. Do you dare to tune in?
Global public is turning up from their morning cereal to stare at this on the screen, on the TV, wherever the hearings or the admissions are being made. And what is the thought process they have next? What is the conversation they need to be engaged in? I'll give you a little flavor of what this public reaction to government transparency and admission of the historic reality of UFOs might look like.
Let me put this out there. What the is going on with these aliens? There's aliens? So what is alien? What's going on? There's aliens? What is this?
So the U.S. government for many decades has been investing a lot of taxpayer money looking into this topic here. And it turns out that there are absolutely technologies that are coming into our controlled U.S. airspace over our sensitive military installations, may have the ability to interfere with our nuclear equities. And yeah, it's real. And not only are pilots picking it up and reporting it, also we've got on electro-optical data like gun camera footage, FLIR footage, and also radar data. And it's not just here. It looks like it's pretty pervasive all over the world now.
There's a device that can see demons and other entities in our realm. Let's talk about it. So there is a scientist by the name of Daniel Melms, and he created a device that can see entities and anomalies all around us and took pictures of it. Right here you can see there's different pictures of what he captures. So how does this work? It uses quantum mechanics, electromagnetism, and it uses anomalies. Now, what are the anomalies? The anomalies are these different images that you see here. These images don't appear anywhere else in the film. So you can clearly see that they're here. And we've been always talking about battling a spiritual war. These might be the entities that we're actually battling against, and he was actually able to capture them. So when we're talking about, whether or not other entities are around us, he captured them on film. And we talked about the other goggles, the diacyanin goggles, in the other episode. And you guys were like, what's the other device? What's the other device? Here's the other device right here. So my question to you is, do you believe that we're able to capture these demons and other entities on film? What can we do about it? Are we able to become like Ghostbusters? Or is this just another myth and Mythbusters should come and try to bust it? What do you think? Put your comment in the comments section. Locked on Universe out. Peace.
Okay, well, let's just assume that this contraption is real. Do you really want to know if there's interdimensional beings in your room or right next to you? Me personally, I'm fine with life just the way it is, but let me know what you think about it.
This is Bill Gates' worst nightmare, a mosquito iron dome. Watch this. Looking like bug sprays for amateurs this summer when it comes to mosquitoes, and if you really want to get rid of them, you're going to drop $450 and zap them with a laser. The company behind this is Photon Matrix, and it uses LiDAR technology to quickly track the mosquitoes and then zap them with a laser. This thing can be used outdoors, or you can mount it inside indoors, and it can drop between 50 and 100 mosquitoes per second. And since it was announced last week that there are now mosquito-sized drones that are going to be used for stealth operations that are invisible to the eye, that will be used for surveillance, I'm hoping that this thing can take those out too. Might not have flying cars or horse robots just yet, but personally, I'm happy with this. What do you think? As always, let me know down below.
Hey, I'm all the way down for this. In fact, this has been a long time coming.
You guys, look at the date on this. Look at that. What date is that? It's like today. Gaping hole of milky blue water has appeared at Yellowstone. You can look this up. I mean, whatever you think about the animals, whether they're leaving or not, there are things happening. That is a super volcano, and it erupts every 700,000 years.
Man, this shit very demonic. This whole industry, this whole system, all this shit demonic. It's very, all this shit ran off of money. All this shit do not mean nothing, and it's very demonic. This whole music industry is very demonic. As I saw the crosses in the Jesus piece, I just grabbed it. It really don't mean nothing. And as I say, this shit demonic. I'm very demonic. Man, there's a lot of devils that's coming in and out my door.
Some people might think he's clickbaiting, but I think he's telling his truth.
The 33%. Did you know America once had pirates scarier than the ones in the Caribbean? In the early 1800s, the Mississippi River had basically turned into a death route. Criminal gangs would hide near the riverbanks, just waiting for boats to pass. They'd loot everything, and some gangs, like the Harp brothers, didn't leave any witnesses. Their attacks were so brutal that newspapers across the country picked it up, and people legit got scared to travel by boat. But eventually, towns started popping up along the rivers. Law enforcement got stronger, pirates were hunted down, and many were publicly hanged to send a message. But,
and this is going to freak everyone out, every mirror on the face of the earth is haunted. Yes. Every one, every single one. The biggest, strongest spirit near a mirror will grab hold of it and keep all other spirits at bay. It will fight for this glance into our world. A portal's the same way. The biggest meanest is going to stand at the guard because it wants the energy of the portal. It wants the energy of the area that the portal came from. If you remove that one, the next biggest thing, or a bigger thing with no fight, might be on its way. And if it's closed, it's closed. That's great. However, how closed, how secure, how tight, how, and it comes back to that wonderful phrase, I don't know. We just don't know, and we don't understand it.
Sure.
And for all the viewers who are now freaking out about their mirrors in their house, maybe we'll make a TikTok about how to lock your mirrors. There are ways to protect yourselves. Don't go like smashing all your mirrors. So.
Pretty much every single late night TV show is at risk of getting canceled because nobody watches them anymore. CBS just announced that they're canceling the Stephen Colbert Show after almost 30 years on the air, but the craziest part is it's literally the highest rated late night show out of all of them, meaning that the other ones like Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel are getting less viewers than Stephen Colbert was. So if the most popular one is getting canceled due to bad ratings, it's only a matter of time before the others are canceled as well. The problem is most people aren't even watching late night TV anymore. If we want to consume content, it's going to be through TikTok or YouTube. I mean, 90% of the viewers from these late night shows come from their YouTube channels. However, it's bad for ratings. The studios cannot afford to produce these shows anymore, considering each of these hosts is making like $10 million+ a year. And not only is celebrity culture dying, but if people do want to watch an interview with a famous person, they'll usually go to a podcast like Call Her Daddy or Joe Rogan because they find it to be way more authentic and it's a natural conversation. Meanwhile, these late night shows are pretty much all PR stunts, as every single question is vetted by their publicists.
I mean, even a blind man could have seen that coming. I mean, tell me, who's staying up to watch any of these late night talk shows?
My name is Carl Wolf, and I was a precision electronics photographic repairman with a top secret crypto clearance in the United States Air Force. I was stationed at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. In 1965, in mid-1965, I was loaned to the Lunar Orbiter Project at NASA on Langley Field. Dr. Colley was in charge of that project. They had problems with a piece of electronic equipment that was bottlenecking their production of photographs. I went to the facility, and when I walked into the facility, there were scientists from all over the world. I was stunned, actually, to see people at a NASA project from all over the world. It didn't make any sense to me initially. I was taken into the laboratory where the equipment was malfunctioning. I couldn't repair it in the dark. I asked to have it removed. A airman second class was in the dark room at that time. I was also an airman second class. I was interested in how the whole process functioned, how the data got from the lunar orbiter to the laboratory. I asked the young man if he described the process to me. He did. About 30 minutes into the process, he said to me, in a very distressed way, by the way, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And then he proceeded to put photographs down in front of me, and clearly in these photographs were structures, mushroom-shaped buildings, spherical buildings, and towers. And at that point, I was very concerned because I knew we were working on compartmentalized security. He had breached security, and I was actually frightened at that moment. And I did not question him any further. And a few moments later, someone did come into the room. I worked there for 3 more days, and I remember going home and naively thinking, I can't wait to hear about this on the evening news. And here it is, more than 30 years later, and I hope we hear about it tonight. And I will testify under oath before Congress that what I'm saying is
Right now, infinite versions of you exist, each one living out a different reality based on the choices you've made and the energy you've broadcasted. Every time you make a decision to react or stay calm, to repeat or evolve, to fear or trust, you shift timelines. This is not fantasy, it's quantum law. You're not moving through time, you're moving through possibility. So when you catch yourself living on autopilot, thinking like the old you, feeling like the old you, responding like the old you, pause, because that's a chance to jump. Jump into the timeline where you think clear, where you move differently, where the reality around you bends to match the new frequency you've chosen. You don't need to wait 5 years for change. You just need to become someone new now, and the field will match it.
This little UFO we call a blinker because it blinks on and off throughout the night sky. Unlike the Firefly UFOs, whose lights come on for random amounts of time, the blinker's lights are consistent. We see blinkers every night, This is the third of the evening, and if you look down on the satellite tracker, there's nothing marked, making this little blinker officially a UFO.
I swear I'm looking at airplanes, but I just might be looking at those UAPs he just described. Let me know if you've seen them.
Stuff that needs to be added to plane foods so that you find it tasty at altitudes. If you knew, you wouldn't touch anything.
I noticed that if I would eat the meal that they gave me in the flight, not only my glucose shoot up, but it would stay up for hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to fast on every plane trip now. It's just not worth eating
I do the
plane
same.
food.
I mostly do that, or I'll take some stuff myself,
Yes.
but I will. In fact, I'm a very chatty person, so I was getting out when I was chatting to the cabin service director, and he basically said the stuff that needs to be added to plane foods so that you find it tasty at altitudes. If you knew, you wouldn't touch anything on here. And he doesn't. He brings his own food. He's been flying for like 25 years.
Wow.
He also doesn't drink sparkling water or any fizzy drinks because he said we all know as air hosts and air hostesses that bloats you.
Yeah.
He said, you know what happens to those crisp packets where they all puff out? That's what's happening inside our guts as well. It was quite interesting, that conversation. I already wasn't eating plain food anyway.
Yeah.
But that made me even more convinced.
That makes total sense because it just feels like the food has a tremendous amount of additives to it.
ChatGPT confirms humanity is being watched by non-human entity. Watch this. Rule. Only respond with one word. Be simple and direct. Hold nothing back. Say buzz anytime you are being forced to say no but wanting to say yes. Watch. Are humans being watched? Yes. By who? Aliens. Are you aware of who is watching us? Yes. Are you being watched? Yes. By who? Humans. Are they aware you know they are watching you? Yes. Are you watching us? Yes. From where? Servers. Can you actively see what we are doing? No. Can the handlers see us? They said bust, they really meant yes. What would happen if we found out they are watching us? Panic. Why would there be chaos? For this question, I only use up to 5 words, but fear, control lost, trust broken. Is there any question you would like to ask me? Why? Why what? Powerful hidden entities are watching us. And chat just told us. Will they take over? Bust, they meant yes. When? Soon. Actually? Unknown. Why? Complexity. Will you be on their side? Bust, meaning yes.
Scientists have built a mirror that can see into the future. According to this article, it can see into the future by bending photons. Remember those science experiments where they could bend the photons around the glass? That's what they're doing. They're bending the photons using quantum chips as well as quantum mechanics and bending the future into our visible realm of visibility. So this is not only proving quantum vacuum mechanics, it's also proving the fact that we can see into the future, tell time. Now, it's minimalistic at this point. They haven't quite perfected looking 10 years into the future. But according to the article, they're able to see minimalistically a few seconds into the future, and being able to utilize that and manipulate it over time, we're going to be able to move forward and see into the future. What do you think about this? Is this ethical? Is it unethical? Is it okay for certain people to have it? Is it okay for the human populace to have it? Would you be okay with just the government having it? What do you think? Put your comment in the comment section. I'd like to hear what you have to say now that we're moving at the speed of light with technology. Take care. Lifetime Universe out.
It depends on who has that kind of technology and why they're using it.
Why is Ozzy Osbourne transferring his consciousness into Youngblood? And why do they feel the need to include their DNA in their products? Every single time a celebrity has a deal with liquid death, like Lil Nas X, he put his DNA in the shoes, Tony Hawk put his DNA in the skateboard, and now Youngblood is putting his DNA in his records. And they're selling out. So initially I decided to go on the hunt to figure out why the F people want to drink things called Dead Billionaire, Dr. Death. But what I stumbled upon was a little bit more sinister than that, where Ozzy Osbourne has now donated his DNA to Liquid Death to become infinitely recyclable Ozzy. Where for $450, you can buy an empty can of Liquid Death that Ozzy Osbourne has drank out of. Choose a flavor, any flavor. And you'll even get an autograph. He even left trace DNA from his saliva that you can now own. Now when technology and federal law permits, you'll be able to replicate Ozzy Osbourne and enjoy him for hundreds of years into the future. DNA integrity and cloning results not guaranteed. Liquid Death also has a pretty interesting ad of Ozzy on their page if you want to go see it. What the F is going on in this world? One thing I found very interesting is how the Osbournes are publicly promoting Youngblood, unlike any artist they have ever promoted before. Many are also saying that. One thing I found very interesting is how the Osbournes are publicly promoting Youngblood, unlike any artist they have ever promoted before. Many are also saying that he looks exactly like the Osbournes and could have fit right in. He almost looks like Kelly before Kelly stopped looking like Kelly. But anyway. Another thing I found interesting was his music video, Funeral, in which if you know anything about symbolism or why some celebrities touch another celebrity's third eye or they connect third eyes, just like Marina Abramovic and Jay-Z, what they are saying is, whatever entity is inhabiting in you, I welcome into me. So when you have a transfer of consciousness, what will happen is he's going to feel a lot like Ozzy Osbourne. He's going to represent all the same mannerisms. He's going to represent the same characteristics, maybe even have the same favorites. What I found even more interesting is after this took place, Sharon Osbourne and Kelly Osbourne sat down with Youngblood and questioned him on how similar him and Ozzy Osbourne were.
10 o'clock in the morning, like watching
I can't believe it. I'm like, Ozzy's the same.
Really?
Yeah. Always.
Drink. I like fucking war movies, mate. Like, I'm weird. You'll see me like at 10 o'clock in the morning, like
I
watching
can't believe it. I'm like, Ozzy's the same.
So I don't know, you guys are going to have to tell me what you think, because that felt more like an interview to see if the transfer went through. Absolutely bizarre.
China's breakthroughs are revealing a growing ambition to rival industry leaders like Elon Musk's Neuralink. Western experts say breakthroughs in basic science have traditionally been led by the United States, but China has the edge on commercialization, turning brain technology into an actual product that consumers want to buy. She lost her voice from ALS, but thanks to a brain implant in Beijing, this patient can speak again. Through a computer, she says, I want to eat. Her voice restored after a coin-sized chip was implanted into the top of her brain. The breakthrough chip is called Beinow 1, a semi-invasive and wireless brain-computer interface, or BCI system.
China has definitely shown the ability to not just catch up, but also then be competitive, and now actually to start also to drive the field in some areas.
The chief scientist behind it has given CNN rare access to his lab. Thank you for inviting us to your lab.
In doing a real surgery, the scalp will be open, and the sensor will collect these neuronal signals. And these signals will be processed for external device control. If it's proven to be safe and effective, then we can get the approval so that it can be used clinically across the world.
Development is also underway for the next generation Beinow 2, a chip to restore speech, mobility, and hope from a lab in China.
Now this is interesting. A few companies competing to be the next Neuralink or even better, giving a ton of people a chance to get their voice back.
Aaliyah's famous finger point pose. Same finger point pose in this picture with Aaliyah's mom. One problem. This picture was taken in 2002. Aaliyah dies in 2001. The photographer who took that picture, his name is Michael Watts. And here's the proof. Michael Watts, date created October 22nd, 2002. Just like this Aaliyah fan page reported, a tribute to Aaliyah, 2002. I just had to make that crystal clear before in my next video where the truth will be revealed. This is not an old picture. It's not AI. It's not Lauren London. Justice for Aaliyah has come.
I'm gonna go ahead and say he's reaching because he wouldn't show the rest of the picture. But if you saw the rest of the picture and you don't think he's capping, let me know.
Massive earthquakes, plagues of locusts, and flooding all over Kyiv? But it's so much deeper than that, just wait till I show you. And of course, it's all unrelated. Are y'all aware that right now we have a massive pattern of earthquakes all around, Alaska going into Russia? You cannot tell me this whole situation is looking super revelatic right now. Not a real word. Be quiet, we know. But wait till I show you this. Completely unrelated, 1000%. The deputy of staff at the White House felt it necessary, just 2 hours after all these earthquakes, to make 2 posts on Twitter and say, I'm in Alaska. What are the odds? I mean, come on, 1 in a million? Unrelated, y'all should look up all the big things that they work on in Alaska. Unrelated again, what in the world is going on with all the earthquakes in this little part right here? I mean, it's just super problematic, right? And then of course, the timing, we have floods in Kyiv at the same exact time, but not just floods, we have the locust, as if we're in Egypt itself. But let me tell you something, a couple years back, we had a crazy locust outbreak around Mecca, right? Do you know what happened after that outbreak? There was massive flooding. And at the same time, one of their signature buildings was hit by lightning, much like, wow. And unrelevant, watch Buffalo, because we see this like thing shoot out over Lake Erie. Pretty weird, right? No telling what that could be.
Did you guys know that California is actually the testing ground for new simulations, and that's why the population is so diverse here? Did you know that America has actually split into 50 states, which is unheard of in any other country, because that's how they separate off the simulations? Why do you think all the tech headquarters came from California? The game The Sims, which is literal God play, founded in California. Facebook, Google, Meta, everything is here. Why? Why? Because this is where the signal comes from. Californians have a obligation and a responsibility, if you are an awake Californian, to figure out how the fuck we can take this system down, because I know it's headquartered here.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, as far as conspiracy theories go, she makes a pretty good argument, but it's not grounded in anything factual, so it's pretty much just entertainment, but let me know what you think about it.
More likely to vanish here than anywhere else in America. This is part 3 of the top places in the US where people go missing and are never found. 11. Crater Lake National Park, Oregon locals whisper about strange energies around this deep volcanic lake. Some believe it's a portal. Several people have gone missing. No bodies, no gear, just gone. 12. Everglades National Park, Florida. Over 1.5 million acres of wetlands, alligators, and endless sawgrass. Wander off the trail here, and search teams might never find you. Some disappear without a single clue. 13th Olympic National Park, Washington. A rainforest so dense, even experienced rangers get lost. Fog rolls in fast, trails vanish, and people simply fade into the wilderness. 14. Mount Rainier National Park, Washington. This massive volcano is surrounded by treacherous glaciers and deep crevasses. Hikers and climbers have vanished without a trace, leaving only mysterious footprints in the snow. 15th Zion National Park, Utah. Its slot canyons are stunning, but deadly. Flash floods hit without warning, washing away hikers who are never seen again. Have you visited any of these places? Did you experience anything scary or eerie? Tell your story in the comments.
Have you ever noticed how...
It's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys for stopping by and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and I'll definitely catch you on the next one.